please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's log, subdates 250903. God of War. Well, I don't have a headache today, so I guess that's a small win. I guess that also means I can stop beating Ensign Bork, for now. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. After the success of Monday's video, not yesterday's, oh Nelly, that was bad, we are going to be doing the part 2 as promised. We hit the 500 lickies to the Just a Robot response. I have skipped to the 10-minute mark within his 30-minute video, and that is where we're going to be continuing from next. Because there is again an attempt by Just a Robot to, in explanations, to try and diminish responsibility, to argue that as a valid point. In the online space, that point never resonates. It really doesn't. Find the time it has, you'll realize it is so rare, it's redundant.
I'm just saying that they're not as guilty as people have portrayed them to be.
I know some of you are expecting some quip here, but I don't want to be accused of cherry-picking or quote mining. I just want to show that that part on its own could have easily been used to make him, Jar, say, Luke in this instance, say something he has not intended yet. And context is vital in all of this.
If you commit a crime, yes, you should be held responsible for it, but you shouldn't be held responsible for a greater crime that you have not committed.
Realistically, I have no issue at this point.
Oh, well, that's good. I wish more people in the RCC would do what you do. I wish we could just sit down and have a nice chat over a cup of tea, but, you know, things just have to escalate. And I did thank you for making the video because I was getting a little overconfident.
Overconfidence that was immediately shattered the moment you spoke with, I believe, Chud Logic. No offense intended to you, but if that made you overconfident, that video, how quick was the turnaround to you realizing just how wrong you were? Again, and we spoke about this in the first video, you made multiple versions of this. You admitted as such in this video, which told us you were overconfident because apparently you were prepared for outcomes, depending on the way the wind blew. But you reacted so fast, you didn't give anything the due process it required and give it time to give some consideration to it, before forming an opinion, which is where many people latched on to realizing that you don't have many opinions of your own, you follow the trend. That might be because of dyslexia, it might be because of tisms of some kind, not digging at you about it, just stating it as a problem that you've rarely ever properly corrected.
And when I go into a situation with the expectation that I'm going to lose, that's when I do my best. Like, you know how I got canceled to begin with? I got overconfident in the Toby drama. That's what happened. And you making that video probably saved my ass.
And here I was thinking it was when your accounts got hacked into the first time, forcing you to make another Just the Robot channel. My mistake. I often wondered, did you end up with 2 play buttons because of that? If you did, that's clever. I'll give you that.
The reason why I thanked Vincent for making his video on me is because I thought it would save me in the long run. Of course, before I could go back and change things to make myself sound less confident, Kumo leaked out the second draft, and I panicked uploaded what I had. Vincent may have saved me, but Kumo doomed me.
Well, I'm glad we could sit down and have this talk because, like...
I know we like to shift the blame here and then. Of course, when it comes to uploading people's content without consent, there is a rule there. Ultimately, you consigned yourself to defeat because of the choices you made. The buck stops at you after all. Taking responsibility for that and not seeking to put it on other people is smarter. I will agree there is some mitigating circumstance here. Does it change the outcome? Not really, because the video's out there now. It also seems like an obfuscation at that point.
The main thing I want for people to know is I'm not as mean as people think I am. I'd rather just sit down and talk.
You and I share the same avatar artist. You know, the one you never credit. And after seeing the DMs between the two of you, I can safely say, hand on one of my hearts, what you just said there was a lie. 100% a lie.
Yep, what I truly want is a peaceful solution to a lot of the situations I find myself in. I just have a habit of pissing people off unintentionally, and I wish I didn't.
I'm going to press X to doubt. A dead meme, I'm sure, to many, Because again, I've known you long enough. I don't know the person you are now, of course not. Maybe you've changed and grown up a little. It's always possible. But your actions and what you've done in the past in your content, antagonizing people, acting so far removed yet throwing yourself balls deep into it, would lead people to believe that what you are saying is not entirely truthful.
No!
No ordinary person would have been able to read.
No. Kumo sent me a friend request.
Umo?
Mr. Everybody's a but me is contacting me.
You can tell that even back then, I knew Kumo being around me wasn't a good thing. Before you ask, no, I did not send Kumo the video. Goblin Girl sent it to him after I told her not to. I told her not to send it to anyone because I was still looking over things.
Most of us are now well versed enough in the story of how your video got made public, or one version of the video got made public. We really do understand that. And no one's going to take away from the fact that it was leaked when it should not have been leaked. Because you weren't ready, right? I'll be honest, you still made the video though. Who on earth does that? Not being fully aware of an entire situation. I'll agree there is some blame to be at the feet, or placed at the feet, of those who shared it when they should not have, which was wrong of them. You still made the video. That's the part people want to focus on. This is, in effect, a deflection.
In this hypothetical, you have a roommate, right?
Yep, alright.
You find out that your roommate is a threat to children, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you A, call the police, or B, ask for $10,000?
Right, okay.
You see what I mean, right?
You know, they should have contacted some form of authority that could, you know, deal with this.
Yeah, like, I find it disgusting that people are talking more about Jack and Cinny's, like, living situation than, like, the minor who may or may not have been groomed.
The money side of things was ultimately not a concern of ours. Again, it was another aspect of a story, a wider part of a story that didn't matter to me. What mattered to me was what Cinnabear was doing, and doing it around others. And then who came to defending Cinnabear? Just you and a couple other very small channels. No dig at them for being smaller, but there were not many supporting Cinnabear, and justifiably so. Cinnabear screwed this up massively. Why? Because Cinnabear is a massively horny individual. Something which you yourself admit. The cooming until grooming comment. Remember that from Monday? Yeah. And that's fine, by the way. Totally fine. To be really horny. Sure. Just not around anyone underage. At this point, I'm going to restate what Asmon had said, and we covered it last week with another topic. Asmon Gold had said, if your age starts with a 3, and you're talking to anyone whose age starts with a 1, there's an issue here. Now, of course, Cinnabear was young themselves. I would argue you need to vet everyone around you, something which many don't do. My server, for example, you have to be 18 or older. Simple as that. Not because there's anything inappropriate there, because I don't want children on my server. We're not including those who have the mental capacity of a child, or who like to use logic that could be derived from a child. No, don't be pedantic. It's quite unbecoming.
One of my stances on the drama was that things should have been more focused on the minor Enno, and not on Cinny's relationship with Jack so much.
It's hard not to talk about the subject matter concerning Jack and Cinny because of how close they were and what was going on behind the scenes. Yes, okay, it created a distraction, we can't deny that. But it took 5 minutes to properly process what was, well, understood. Here barking, Bingo wants treats and he's already had some. The point really, though, is it is possible to take everything in at once and then get back to the main point. Or to cover the main point and then cover the next point. People can, some anyway, multitask. It's not overly complicated unless you're me doing a driving game on Twitch later tonight. Watch me crash. It happens every time.
I was also iffy at this point in time whether what Cinny did was grooming or not.
Sadly for Cinnabear, it fell within the bracket of the term grooming, yes. You may have been iffy on it, but I think your iffiness came from, and I hate to bring this up again, your inability to process all the information from both Google Docs that showed quite conclusively something was wrong. Instead focusing on the shiny pictures. There was so much context missing, it was understandable you were going to screw this one up. Commentary as an internet space is not forgiving when we make mistakes on the level you made the mistake. If you're lucky, you can come out of it semi-consequence free. Doesn't help when you double down, doesn't help when you go on live streams, doesn't help when you don't retract anywhere near fast enough. It also doesn't help when we find out you've made multiple versions of it.
I was going to talk to Vincent Scullman about this call, but then I realized that all of his drama videos, including the 2 new ones he made on me, are gone, and both of his Twitters are currently locked. Huh, that's kind of weird.
Unlikely, because if they're the person I think they are, they're trying to protect themselves so that when they go forward as a creator, they don't have that, unfortunately, your name and the reputation that comes with that linked to them as a creator. They are a growing channel, and they need to be able to do that. Many, when we grow especially, and I remember this back when I was starting out, we want to latch onto bigger creators to help us, and then we pay it forward by helping smaller channels. That's generally how it's supposed to work anyway. For Vincent, I don't think it's such a good thing to have any relation or connection to you when they know the popular belief, the right one I might add, is that you're in the wrong. Especially when we did go through some of their content concerning defending you, and I'll be honest, they didn't help the situation at all. They made it worse.
Now, you might try to claim that I'm a liar. After all, that's a lot of money to spend on 2 different drafts of a video. So why would I spend even more money on a 3rd draft? Well, the thing is, Lorenzo is just about my cheapest editor. He lives in the Philippines, where the US dollar goes very far. $5 to us is about $20 to them. Any payment he asked for, I would give it to him, even after he asked for an extra $100 after I started getting cancelled for the Cine drama. I just gave it to him. But apparently, from what I have been told, he started going around telling people that I underpaid him, even though I always paid him what we agreed upon. If he wanted more money, he could have always asked for it.
Not gonna lie, I couldn't care less what your editor charged. I couldn't care less what they claimed. I couldn't care less that this happened because it means nothing to me. It means nothing in the grand scheme of things either. The part that matters is the part we're getting away from. And there's a reason you're getting away from it. It's because you feel this need, and I'm not trying to be a condescending prick on purpose, but it's fact at this point. Yes, I'm a condescending prick. And that you are unable to get to a point without hyper-focusing on every single minute detail to try and make it seem like that all matters in the bigger picture. A picture that you have to create to drive your point home.
Now, Kumo claiming that he uploaded my draft of the video to stop me is the biggest load of that I've ever heard in my life. As far as I'm aware, that has never worked in the history of YouTube, and it doesn't make any sense. Uploading someone else's video onto your channel before they have a chance to upload it themselves doesn't stop them from uploading it. In my last response video, I asked people to show me examples of where this has ever worked, and no one has provided one single example.
The reason why no one presented any information to run counter is because it's not wrong, what you said. No one thinks that. They think that you're in the wrong, though, with what you said in your video. The substance of the video is what mattered more in the bigger scheme, the bigger picture, the bigger frame, whatever you want to call it. That.
Personally speaking, I've never even heard of something like this happening before. I do not believe Kumo has any interest in protecting me or the truth. He was trying to convince Cine that my end goal was to her.
Like, I knew how this guy was. I warned you how he was. I told you what position you were in, and I was very conscious and scared on your behalf because of what position you're in. Jar could have you, and that's probably what he was trying to, like, that was probably his dream, his end goal.
The popular belief, and you do highlight it in the not-so-distant future from this clip you've played, is that the reason Kumo uploaded the video was to make sure you didn't try and change your opinion from what you've already put into a video, thereby putting you on the back foot. I don't like leaks, I really don't. I don't like the idea of someone stealing your content, of course not. But that became a secondary problem to the main one of the substance of the videos. The RAPE comments that feature in Kumo's comments and yours that I had to blank out, I can't justify any of that. I'm not going to either. It's pretty shitty for anyone to say it, ever.
In my humble opinion, it's far more likely that Kumo did what he did to keep me from reaching out to Jack and Enno to get their sides of the story.
Now, hypothetically, if the video hadn't been released, there was a chance Jack and Enno may well have had discussions with you. There was always a possibility of that. Based on how you interviewed Cine, I'm kind of glad you didn't, though, because you basically took her side. If you'd carried on with that mentality and that approach with them as well, it would have made you look really crap, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure that if I didn't upload what I had, Kumo would have told people that I didn't upload it because I saw the backlash underneath his video. And if I claimed that this was just an early draft of the video, people would have said that I was lying.
There was always a possibility that that could have been the case, but openness and transparency is vitally important to one's integrity. You earlier in this video stated you didn't go through the documents. Hell, I did, and I made much shorter videos. It wasn't overly difficult to do it, and I understand your reading pace isn't ideal, but there were streamers that were doing this, just going through all of it. You could have listened to those instead. It could have been seen as disingenuous, of course. An edit, waste of money, but alright, you did that. Integrity, though, is fundamental when it comes to covering subjects like this. You lost yours because of how you handled it. Your choice was wrong, and it's going to take years to rebuild that if you want to rebuild it.
You can even hear in the last voice message I sent to Cinny that my confidence was pretty much all gone, and that I was getting cold feet about this entire situation.
Listen, Cinny, I can't promise this will fix everything for you, or even anything for you. I don't want you to feel like you have a false sense of hope. I'll do what I can, but that's it. I helped Peaches out, but the allegations on you are much more rough.
We are lowly, pesky, whiny, annoying content creators. The ability for us to influence the masses is incredibly limited, even those that are much larger. To think you could have helped in this situation is interesting, and it's always possible you could have, but now with history telling us the bigger picture, it was unlikely from the offset.
This is part of the reason as to why I freaked out so much in the DMs with Cinny and Goblin Girl after I saw that Kumo uploaded the video himself. My thought process wasn't, oh no, Kumo uploaded the video before I did. I wanted to do that first. My thought process was, oh no, everybody is going to believe that this is my final draft of the video.
As far as history records it, it may as well be, because it was still a version of a video that existed in the online space. And I have to go back to it. You still made this. The majority of that video, excluding the chat with Cinnabear, was trash. It was deflection 101. If you wanted somebody to look at the video that was objective, you should have gone to somebody within the commentary spaces that you don't talk to. Rather than making a video, you should talk to people first to gauge their response. But as we later discover with those who made videos on you in a more in-depth and deep dive manner, you, like a few other creators in the online space, you need people to help you understand problems, and you yourself admit this as such and attribute it to dyslexia. That's fine, by the way, but it does show an inherent weakness when it comes to this area of the internet, an area you have existed within for close to a decade.
Now, if you don't believe me that I wouldn't have uploaded this video if Kumo didn't do what he did, why is it that the first time I ever receive massive backlash is the same time a draft of my video is leaked? If you think it's just a coincidence, then stars aligned. That's quite a coincidence. I can already hear what the live streamers reacting to this video are saying. Char, you're just using this as an excuse. Then why give me that excuse? Let me upload the video myself before you leak it, and then bash me for it.
Being able to consider what others will think of how you're responding in this video is clever, right? Sure, it's clever. Ultimately, it does not change what has happened. You are right, the video should not have been released by anyone but you. Do I think, though, you would have changed the video? No. Do I think you might have then been able to pull it quicker so no one had a copy? Yes. Does that then limit your ability to experience consequence? Yes, of course it does. And that was the intention behind it. I don't like how your video was released, of course I don't. But I still think it's odd that you still made that video. You said everything you said with chest, you meant every last word of it, and your video was arrogant enough as it was. Undefeated, am I right, guys? Now, there is still another 10 minutes of this video left, but I can't sit here all day responding. I do apologise, but I don't have that capacity. But if you'd like a part 3 to finish this video off, let's see if we can get 600 likes, as opposed to the 500 last time. 600 likes, and I'll make a part 3.